There we go. Greetings and salutations to all you greasy boys out there. Welcome back to another ill-advised episode of El Camino Kyle. On this episode, I was going to move the Cougar back inside because Noah, I think he took the Beetle to the DMV to get it registered, but I forgot the Escape that we haven't sold yet is blocking the garage. So my plan was to put a new turn signal switch in the Cougar, fix that choke power wire that I ran through the firewall after I took it on its maiden voyage, and then actually fix a few rust spots that have this one I knew about, but have appeared, especially this one, in the hood since it's been sitting outside. So that was on the agenda for today. Not much has happened for the past 2 weeks. I took the break off. I did pick up this nasty belt buckle, which is pretty sweet, an old lumber truck, perfect for Oregon. And what else did I do? Noah and I looked at a 1950 Ford F3 that's been sitting since 1993 yesterday. You may or may not have already seen that. But Noah's thinking about getting rid of this and the other one, just like all the other things that he thinks about doing but never does. Love you, Noah, but it's the truth. Thought about it, and I'm actually going to put the battery on it and let it run for a minute before I get going on anything, because it tickles me pink hearing it run every now and again. And my horoscope this week said I'd have a good day today, so may as well take up on that. Tried starting in this with the secondary key that I got from Home Depot. A lady in the wheelchair made it for me, and the ignition key won't turn. So, this one turns. So, we'll ready? First try. I still need to, there's a small radiator leak that I need to fix right here. It's got 2 pinholes in it, so I need to, I'm going to try, JB weld on that first. If that doesn't work, I'll just get another small block Ford radiator for it. I picked up a shroud from West Coast Classic Cougar, and some new hoses, and I believe even a thermostat. So to do all that, I need to take out that radiator, or at least disconnect everything. So, I'm going to treat it right, maybe even throw the new radiator in there when I do that. So I'm going to let this sizzle for a little bit, and then, I guess we'll begin some work. Plan on getting this thing painted in the future, so this is only surface rust, so go easy on me. The stuff in the back there, that's probably flakier than my grandmother's skin, but I think this will do for now. I might even put some rust reformer on there, that little extra step. I think I'm going to go with the rust reformer, then some primer, and call it good, just a few coats, and I'm going to spray her down. Okay, so I've made a little bit of progress on the Cougar. The last clip was me painting it outside. It started to rain, so I was running around freaking out. Eventually I got Noah to come over and move the Beetle over so we could push this inside. But what I did was I took care of the original spot. I did 3 layers there. I did this spot, this spot, this spot. All of these guys are small surface rust areas. And then I also did this guy and this guy and that guy. On this one, it was cracking a little bit, so I sanded it down. I pretty much did 3 layers everywhere. Spot here. Eventually I'll get to the drip rail, and then there's 3 patches back here, the one on the passenger, the middle, and the driver. I sanded those down as good as I could. I did rust reformer on these, and then I did 3 coats of primer, so it should be good enough. Then I also sanded the quarter down a little bit more and did 2 more layers there. So it should have overkill now. And on the engine, you can't see it, but I put a stiffer return spring on the throttle, so it has a little more kickback to it. And then, can't see this either, but the positive choke wire that went through the firewall, I made a incision in the grommet, and I stuffed it through there, so that's all sealed up and it won't rub raw or ground out. So the next step is to probably take the driver's seat out for a 4th time and take the steering column apart and see if that turn signal switch will solve our problems. So here's what I was trying first. I had this old switch unit just in a box of spare parts that I got, and I compared it to the one in here now, and every single wire was the same color coding going into this half moon that connects to the half moon under the dash. And so all I didn't even ground it out. I just plugged it in, put the battery on, and the hazards started going because this guy was depressed. The flashers on the dash are going, the rears are going, and the fronts are going. But that's not the problem. The problem are the turn signals, and the flashers work on this unit that's already installed. So 2 weeks ago, before I bought my new unit right there, I talked online with a Cougar expert, and he told me that the hazards can work without the sequentials working. So this is good. I even flipped the turn signal dial, I guess you could call it, and they didn't turn on. I believe this one, maybe this one. One of these are the horns. So I pushed the, I guess, horn pin down, touched it against the rocker panel, and it sparked. So I may have fried that. I don't know. So it's getting power, but the turn signals are not working regardless in either one of these. So that's probably why that's an old one. Turn signals didn't work. Maybe the same thing happened in here. Alright, so what I've done here is I've, of course, taken our steering wheel off, used this big guy to do that, disconnected our horn cables, and then I took 3 screws out here, unscrewed the column select for the turn signals, and basically pushed up on these wires and it slid right off. So basically what I believe to have happened is the little connections in here for the signaling, they just got worn out over time and they stopped working. So basically what I'm gonna do is take this whole thing out, leave this thing out, and I'm gonna do it just like how I did the Corvair. Is my new unit does not have this half moon, so what I'll do is I'll splice in different lengths on each wire, and then I'll cover it with this sleeve, and that should work. That way I don't have to worry about taking all these guys out, bending those metal points, or any of that stuff. I can just splice into those because I trust myself doing that. I've done it before, and I don't even think West Coast Classic Cougar sells another one of these. That's just how I'm going to do it. You guys might do it a different way, but I'm most confident in doing it like that. If any of you guys are following along, you might ask what this brown stray wire is. I just pulled it up. It was through that harness, but this is just for a T-bird, and West Coast Classic Cougar sells a aftermarket turn signal switch for Mustangs, T-birds, Cougars, and this is just one that you don't need. And I believe there's also this black and yellow one that might just be for cruise control or something else. So plan is to take this guy out and basically chop that all up. So the actual switch assembly is in, just like how it was last time. I'm going to leave that brown and yellow wire hanging. So now, just gotta get this guy and kind of do something like that and match those up. Had to run to O'Reilly's because Noah decided to use all my butt connections. So I decided to rip my wallet a new one, and I got the heavy duty ones. I also got some shrink wrap, and I even got some dielectric grease for the signal. So let's get to it. Pre-cut that guy, spliced him down about ½ an inch, turned them, clockwise. Then I'll just stick that guy up there so they're already in that spot, and I can maneuver these guys around to meet that instead of pre-wiring it and then having to twist it and put strain on those connectors. Okay, so that's all those guys buttoned up. You can see I just cut the tips off of them, crossed them together like a V, and then I just wrapped them up, sewed that shrink wrap over them, and then heated it up, and they're all good to go. They should be solid, and I guess we will try it now. Hazards. Rear work. In the front. Okay. Moment of truth. Take those off. And come on. Oh, shit. I'm gonna go curse, so see ya. Alright guys, I already filmed this outro once, but my camera batteries are crapping the can, so they'll delete the clip right in the middle of filming. My camera will turn off. We're still good though. So it's another day. I don't remember what happened in the last clip when I was kind of showing you guys the problem because my camera died and deleted the clip. But we got the turn signals figured out, but only, it's basically emergency flashers. So the middle one flashes on either side, and same in the front. It doesn't have the sequentials yet. But I've got a little forum that I'll put in the description if you guys are having problems with your sequentials. And I believe I've narrowed it down to the emergency flasher unit. So before I go and spend $40 to replace that part, I'm going to get in touch with West Coast Classic Cougar because I've actually been admitted into the Portland Roadster Show with the Cougar. Talked to some of the guys. They came to my World of Speed class, and they were looking for students who were interested in entering their cars into their high school challenge. They're talking to students from Salem up to Vancouver and the width of the Willamette Valley. And they're only taking 40 students, and I'm not even sure if they've talked to everyone yet, but they have told me that I'm going to be in it. So I really want to spruce up the Cougar a little bit. So I'm going to try and get in touch with Don Rush. If you guys know him from his YouTube videos, he will nitpick your Cougar apart and tell you everything that is wrong with it. And that's exactly what I want him to do. So hopefully one of these days, if he lets me, I can drive down to Salem, put it up on their lift, and we can really tear this thing apart and see what I need to improve. And as for this one, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what I'm doing wrong in the comments. I love your hate. Send me a photo of your projects to be featured in the end of this video, or a photo of you and your grandmother. All those links and all that jazz is in the description below. Thanks, boys.
But Frank Gibb is just turning it on. Boy, is he moving. He's covering some ground and closing the gap. The camel is slowing down, and it's anybody's race. We're down to the finish line, and oh! It is a photo finish that's way too close to call.